Hi, and thanks for joining us for our podcast. I'm Holly Gaddy, and today we'll be speaking with Scott Trout, the Chief Operating Officer for Enterhealth. Enterhealth is a premier behavioral health provider specializing in mental health and substance abuse treatment services. Today we're going to be talking about a really interesting topic around faith and spirituality, which I know is quite a bit of your area, and how you work with Enterhealth and how it influences one's wellness and overall well-being. Mm-hmm. So thanks so much, Scott, for chatting with us today.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity. I always love to talk about Enterhealth and faith and spirituality and how it all works together to help our patients.
What impact does faith and spirituality have on one's overall wellness?
I look at spirituality as kind of a universal term. I look at faith, one's faith, what they put their faith in, as a little bit more of a personal term. So just to start there, and I do know that studies have shown that there is a real connection between spiritual well-being and mental health well-being. There are plenty of studies out there that will speak to that. But there are some real positives associated with spirituality. Some of those are higher self-satisfaction, a sense of purpose. For many years, one of the Bible studies I taught at the ranch was The Purpose-Driven Life, which was a book that kind of walked a person through finding their purpose. Lower anxiety and depression has been associated with people who practice their spirituality, as well as lower incidence of substance abuse, which is what we treat, and overall better cognitive functioning.
What about the role of religion specifically?
And once again, I like to kind of define how I see religion anyway. I see religion as more or less a vehicle to practice your faith, if that makes sense. The parts about religion that I see very beneficial is it creates community. Our patients, particularly our addiction patients, they need a strong support group, strong community, a church or a temple or wherever they choose to practice can create that community. Also creates accountability. You have to show up. People are expecting you. It also gives you a chance to serve. And through service, you can once again kind of find your purpose in life.
What roles would you say that faith and or spirituality has in one's mental health treatment?
Yeah, I think for some people it's very important. Often people come to our facility and they've been separated from their faith or their religion. There's often a lot of guilt and shame associated with some of their behaviors or some of their choices they made. But then for some people, they're not ready. They're not ready to either seek a relationship with God or mend or rediscover that relationship. And so I think, what we do is we present the opportunity. We don't force it. We're very covert about it. We're not as overt, meaning if a person wants to attend a Bible church, a Bible class, they're welcome to do that. We offer it, but there's going to be something else at the same time they could go do, like a yoga class, for example. And so we're just really planting the seed that if this is a time you want to rekindle your relationship, get back into your faith, discover your faith, this is a great time to do it because you have the time and you're in a serene environment where you can really reconnect with God.
Reconnect. That makes me think of mindfulness is something I know that's really hot right now. It's being talked about a lot in the media. How would you say that the practice of mindfulness could help with mental health treatment and recovery and all of those things?
Yeah, when I think of mindfulness and I relate it to one's faith, I start thinking about things like meditation and prayer. Mm-hmm. And the way I understand it or have learned it is, prayer is us communicating directly, to God and talk and building that relationship like you would with a friend or a spouse. You got to communicate. Meditation, in my mind, is a time to quieten your spirit, quieten your mind. But that helps with things like stress and anxiety, mood, focus, concentration, resilience, which is something we all need, self-awareness, emotional regulation. Mm-hmm. And even for those that suffer with PTSD, it's proven meditation. And there are many techniques. Lenny Harner at the ranch, who's our clinical director, He is very, very well trained in mindfulness and meditation. I'm looking at it a little bit more from a faith or spirituality aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a great way to start your day, in your day, or in the middle of your day, just to get through your day. I think it's something we all should do.
Right. How would you say that, and you might have already answered this, but mindfulness, meditation, how does that really help someone specifically with, say, substance abuse, going through treatment, and just general mental health?
Yeah, I think with substance abuse in particular, we're trying to break a vicious cycle that's been set up. And one way is looking, who are you hanging out with? Are you spending all your time with other people using? Well, it might be a time not to necessarily end or break relationships or friendships, but you might need to remove yourself from that circle of people and find a healthy group. Mm-hmm. And once again, many churches these days are becoming much more progressive in looking at mental health and illness. And I think that's something that they're even opening up new programs. Mm-hmm. At my church, they do that. I think it does help with relapse prevention, things like self-control, acceptance that we all aren't perfect. We all are flawed. We all struggle. Even if we put on a smiley face every day, everyone's dealing with something. And then I just think also tapping into your spiritual side is going to help you connect more with other people, with your therapist, with your family, and it's going to help those connections that addiction often tears apart.
How does Enterhealth specifically incorporate faith, spirituality, religion into mental health and substance use treatment plans?
Yeah, I think it starts by actually our owners who started Enterhealth. They believe that Enterhealth needs to be a place where a person can either grow in their faith or reconnect in their faith. And so when we created Enterhealth, even though it has a science or a psychological basis of the program, we always wanted faith and spirituality to be a real part of it for those that were ready to take that step. And so, by having people on staff like Thomas at the ranch, Kim at the outpatient, they're both biblically trained therapists. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only area they derive their therapy from. However, if you want to go there, they're very comfortable. They also, Thomas teaches the Bible study that I used to teach. And then, like I said, weekly we offer, if you want to go to church, on the weekends, we'll take you. If you would like a minister to be a part, to come visit, Zoom, phone call, clergy, a priest, whatever. If it's going to be beneficial, and the therapist and the family and the patient all agree that however you want to practice your faith will be beneficial in their recovery, we're going to support it. We're not going to make it put up roadblocks.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time and insights that you've shared with us today. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Really enjoyed it.
If you would like to learn more about how faith and spirituality can support mental health, you can reach out to the experts at Enterhealth by calling 1-800-388-4601 or visiting enterhealth.com today.